Can you guess what our average attention span is today?
I know it's paltry. Is it something south of 60 seconds? I want to say like 32.
Actually, it's
Tell us more about this sky breath, because and maybe this is me being a touch ignorant to what's been going on in the world of breath work, but I haven't heard of this before. It makes a lot of sense to me, at least conceptually, trying to pair meditation with breath, especially for the more cat type personalities that have a hard time sitting still. So please say more.
yeah. So, Michael, the sky breath meditation stands for Sudarshan Kriya Yoga. So, Sudarshan in Sanskrit means proper vision, and Kriya is action. So, proper vision through the purifying action of the breath. And yoga in Sanskrit means to join. Join what? Join the mind, which is doing its own thing, flying around all the time, to the present moment using the breath. So, this was a technique that was created or cognized by Gurudev, Sri Ravi Shankar of the Art of Living, the founder of the Art of Living, way back in the early 80s in 81.
Hmm.
And since then, this program, it's a 8-hour program that is spread over 3 days. Typically, you learn it on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, couple of hours each day, maybe even 6 to 8 hours, depending on where you are. And you learn a set of different breathing techniques that you practice on a daily basis. It takes about 20 minutes in the morning. And because you're using the breath, it helps harmonize the emotions, the thoughts, with your body. At the end of it, it takes you to a natural state of meditation where the thoughts have calmed down, the mind is clear, and in that state of clarity, you're able to, really perceive, as I shared in the beginning, perception, observation, and expression. All of these are in a better place. And with that greater energy, when you don't have to deal with all the clutter inside your mind, all of the interference, you're able to then take on so much more. Even if something was taking you like 20 minutes or 30 minutes to complete a task, you find that when you're present, when your mind is there, you're able to do it in a shorter time, and you don't make as many mistakes. So it's been really fascinating. And this program is offered in more than 180 countries today, Michael. So
Wow.
it's something that a lot of volunteers have taken up. This is a completely volunteer run organization, The Art of Living. Um,
Hmm.
and it has over 35,000 instructors around the world.
How do people learn this?
So both online, this is something that we learned that we could teach breathwork online during the pandemic, and also in person. So we have centers around the world. For instance, here I am in our Washington D.C. center, which is on Meridian Hill, just a mile from the White House. So we have places around the country, around the U.S. and around the world.
And by the way, if this has been helpful, please comment and subscribe. This really does help us reach more people who are trying to improve their health. So it is quite deeply appreciated. And you remind me of something that Cal Newport has brought to the forefront. He's certainly not the first person to say this, but that deep work or focused work is vastly more effective than interrupted work. And in his book of the same name, Deep Work, he discusses multiple studies wherein researchers would do some sort of minimal interrupt of someone working on a task in one group and non-interrupted in the other group. And even one small, like a, hey, do you want coffee? That is enough to measurably decrease efficacy of whatever task the person is working on. So I would bring this up a level to the people who are saying, oh, I'm just so busy, I can't meditate. Well, if you're busy working for, let's say, 10 hours of a day, you might actually have a, let's use arbitrary numbers here, but a 5% gain in efficiency over those 8 hours. So does that justify 10, 15, 20 minutes? I don't know, and maybe some research has looked at this, but I would be inclined to think you would be at a net productivity gain by taking some time to center through the sky meditation or any other work that sort of makes you more mindful.
Absolutely, Michael. And just to add to that, we have a lot of research that has shown this very fact. Today, thanks to smartphones and all of these different notifications that we get every second minute or every second, our attention span, can you guess what our average attention span is today?
I know it's paltry. Is it something south of 60 seconds? I want to say like 32.
Actually, it's like 15 seconds or 13
Wow.
seconds is what researchers say. Between 13 and 15 seconds is all you have.
Wow.
20 years ago, it used to be that you used to be able to focus on something for at least 20, 25 minutes. but somehow that attention span has really come down. And with that, also, I feel like the depth of our life, you were just talking a little bit more about deep work, right? Um, and that translates into every aspect of our life, unfortunately. See, at this point, it feels like life is just being lived at the periphery or at the surface. We're not even going deep within ourselves or like within anything to understand what it is. Um, and what this is about is taking a pause, taking a moment to pause and say, hey, who am I really? What am I really here for? What do I really want? And
Yeah,
and we don't take that time, isn't it? See, we say hi to each other. We say, how are you? Do we really mean it? You say
sure.
bye, have a nice day. Do you really mean it? And how does it feel when somebody you love, your let's say your grandmother or your loved one says,
Mm,
have a nice day or I love you? There's
yeah,
something with that, right? There's a presence that comes with it. There's that energy that you transfer from one to another. But you don't see that same thing. I mean, you're getting off a plane, somebody says, have a nice day. It's not the same feeling, isn't it? So, as human beings, we are beings of both head and heart, isn't it? So how do we really explore the fullness of our humanity if we continue to just stay at this level where we just are addicted to the next dopamine high
right.
by that flip or whatever, right? So that's where this breath has a unique capacity to cut through because, like you rightly pointed out, you can tell people to meditate, but they close their eyes and all they can hear is more noise. But the breath, you can't say I'll breathe for later, right? The breath is right now, and it's been with us ever since we were born to the moment we leave this body.
Sure.
So learning how to use these patterns really not only helps us physiologically, but also mentally. And there's a lot of research to prove that, to support that as well these days.
Can you say more about any of the research that you find compelling? I know a facet of our audience is quite keen on research and what it can teach us. So I know there's a lot to maybe pick from, but anything that you think is worth discussion.
So three things, and I think these are some things that are very relevant to the times as well, right? One is mental health, mental well-being, and stress management. And a number of research papers and over the last 12 years or so show how chronic stress is one of the leading causes of the six main killers in the world today, including cardiac issues, cancer. All of these things are caused by chronic stress. You know, chronic stress triggers inflammation in the body, right? All of this is linked to inflammation. So the sky breath has been proven to reduce chronic stress in practitioners in as little as 2 weeks. And the impact of that lingers. Actually, there was a study that was done at the Palo Alto VA for many veterans who had served in Vietnam and Iraq and were struggling with PTS. And what the research shows is that even after the first practice of this breathing technique, their level of serum cortisol falls by more than half. And with a regular practice, for those who practice this over a period of time, you find that your regular level of cortisol, the stress hormone, is already like below half of somebody who doesn't practice this. So that's just one example. The other thing is improved sleep. And we all know the impact sleep has on a number of different things, right, in our lives. We know we need sleep for regeneration. And a record number of Americans today are struggling with this. I would say around the world, people are struggling with sleep, thanks to all of the different uh, diversions that we face today in life. So, the sky breath helped you release or helps you release these stresses, these anxieties, these toxins through the breath, even on a physiological level, and allows the mind to settle in itself for better quality of sleep, better quality of rest. Deep sleep, researchers found, was markedly improved in people who
Hmm.
practice the sky meditation.
And did it
And
matter? Does it need to be proximal to bed, or is it any time during the day it'll have that benefit for sleep?
anytime during the day. And typically, we recommend you you do this practice in the morning before you start. And we have, at the Art of Living, we have a complementary practice called the Sahaj Samadhi meditation, which is an effortless meditation technique. You just sit down, and observe the thoughts. It doesn't matter what time of day you do it. Actually, we recommend you do this in the morning. So, because it energizes you and also relaxes you. So, another research paper found, another study found, was that you found heightened alpha and beta activity in the brain as well. And what scientists said was that this was a state of relaxed alertness. So you were relaxed and not like wound up, but alert at the same time.